My precious child, slow your heart for just a moment and listen closely, not with your ears, but with your spirit. I know you're tired. I see the weariness in your soul, the heaviness you carry even when you smile in front of others. You've been waiting, praying, hoping, sometimes with bold faith, sometimes with just enough strength to whisper my name. And yet the silence has felt deafening. The delay has made you wonder, Lord, have you forgotten me? Oh, my child, how I long for you to see what I see. If you exit now, if you give up in this very moment, you will miss something so crucial, so divine, so beautifully written into your story, the miracle that's already in motion. Don't go. Don't let discouragement write the final line of this chapter. I am the author of your life, and I do not leave stories unfinished. If you have trust in our message, please leave a yes in the comments below. Your support through a small donation not only helps our mission, but also fuels our journey. And if our content touches your heart, do consider subscribing. May God bless you. I know it's been hard. I know you've cried when no one else was watching. I know you've questioned why the doors closed, why the people left, why things seemed to fall apart just when you thought they were finally coming together. But my beloved, I never left you. I've been beside you in every valley, through every heartbreak, through every moment where your hands felt too weak to lift in praise. I've whispered to your soul in the midnight hour, even when you couldn't hear me. I was there. I am here. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. I'm doing something behind the scenes that your eyes cannot yet behold. Heaven has already shifted in your favor. Angels have already been dispatched. The breakthrough you've cried out for is closer than you can imagine. Do not walk away now. You are standing on the edge of something sacred. I know the enemy has tried to confuse you, planting lies in your mind that maybe I've changed, that maybe I only bless others, that maybe you're too broken, too flawed, too late. But hear me clearly, you are mine, and nothing about your past, your pain, or your delays can cancel my plans for you. What I spoke over you still stands. What I promised you I will fulfill. I don't break my word. I don't tease my children with hope, I deliver. And when I come through, it won't be small. It won't be ordinary. It will be so divine, so undeniable that you'll fall to your knees in awe, saying, only God could have done this. That is the kind of miracle I'm preparing. But you must stay. You must keep believing when it's hard. You must continue trusting when you have more questions than answers. Faith isn't just for the moments when everything feels good. It's for now, right here, when things don't make sense. Your waiting has not been wasted. Every tear, every groan, every time you chose to worship instead of worry, it has built something eternal in you. You're stronger than you think. You're braver than you believe. And I am not asking you to be perfect. I'm asking you to be present. Stay in the room. Stay in the process. Don't let discouragement drive you away from the very blessing that's about to knock on your door. I am the God who parts seas, who raises the dead, who multiplies the little you have into more than enough. Do you not believe I can do the same for you? Oh, my child, I'm not just able, I'm willing. You are not just another face in the crowd. You are my treasure, my heartbeat, my reason for going to the cross. I paid for your peace. I paid for your healing. I paid for your purpose, and I will see it through. So breathe, wipe your tears, lift your head. This is not the end. In fact, it's only the beginning of what I've planned for you. What's coming is so beautiful, so beyond your expectations, that you'll look back at this very moment and thank me for not allowing you to give up. You'll say, Lord, you knew, you were with me the whole time. Yes, I was. I am, and I always will be. Let me hold your heart. Let me carry the weight. Just stay. Keep walking, even if it's just one small step at a time. Your miracle is on its way, no delays, no detours. It's coming. I'm coming. I have seen the battle raging around you. I have watched the shadows tighten, the enemy creeping into corners of your mind, whispering lies, stirring confusion, and planting fear. I have seen how the weight of it all has threatened to smother your hope, and I want you to hear me now. This is not where it ends. You are not trapped. You are not defeated. You are not lost in the chaos. I will rescue you from the enemy's grasp. I am not distant. I am not delaying out of indifference. I have been drawing near step by step, even while the darkness tried to convince you that you were alone. I have come to war on your behalf. I have come to shatter chains, to silence lies, to overthrow every stronghold that has tried to plant itself inside your heart. You were not made to live in fear. You were not made to sink under the pressure. You were created to overcome, because I overcame first. Every attack that has risen against you, every lie that has tried to twist your identity, every moment the enemy tried to convince you to give up, I have seen it all. And I have not remained silent. I have not been still. Even when you could not see it, my spirit has been warring for you in realms unseen. When you wept at night, my angels stood guard. When your faith faltered, my mercy held you. When you felt like surrendering to the shadows, my hand reached deeper still. I will rescue you not because you are perfect, not because you have earned it, but because you are loved beyond human comprehension, and no enemy, no force, no curse, no weapon, no accusation has the power to separate you from that love. The enemy thought he could mark you with fear. He thought he could break your spirit, chain your future, and reroute your destiny. But I am stepping in. I am overturning every plan. I am rewriting what the enemy tried to write over your life. He may have meant it for evil, but I will use it for good. He may have thrown you into the fire, but I will bring you out without even the smell of smoke clinging to you. You may feel bruised, but you will not be broken. You may feel tired, but I will breathe life into your soul again. I will rescue you from the enemy's grasp, not only to protect you, but to reveal my glory through your restoration. There are moments when you question if the battle will ever end. You've wondered how long you can keep fighting, how long you can keep smiling while everything inside you feels worn and stretched. You've walked through seasons where prayer felt dry, where joy seemed far, and where your spirit felt faint. But hear me now, I am the one who does not grow weary. Do not sleep, I do not slumber, and I am not asking you to be strong enough. I am asking you to lean on the strength that never runs dry, mine. You don't have to win this battle in your own strength. I already have. The cross was not a symbol of defeat. It was a declaration of victory. The empty tomb wasn't just a miracle. It was the final word over every scheme the enemy has ever formed against you. You were never meant to be entangled in chains of fear, addiction, shame, regret, or torment. Those things are not your portion. You were not created to live beneath your calling. I see the real you, not just the you that's been wounded, but the you that I formed in the secret place. I see strength where you see weakness. I see purpose where you see failure. I see destiny where you see disappointment. And that's why I will not let the enemy keep you in his grasp. I have already begun the rescue mission. The shift has already started. What felt like silence was actually setup. What felt like abandonment was actually alignment. I was putting pieces in place that you couldn't see, lining up answers, preparing hearts, softening circumstances, and waiting for the perfect moment to pull you out, not just into safety, but into purpose. There will be a moment, sooner than you expect, when you will look back at this season and see it for what it truly was, not your destruction, but your preparation. The enemy overplayed his hand. He thought the darkness would silence your praise, but instead it will amplify it. He thought your pain would bury your voice, but it will deepen it. What was meant to break you will make you bold. What was meant to silence you will awaken a roar within you that will shake the very gates of hell. I will use what was meant to crush you as the very stone upon which you rise. I don't just rescue and leave. I rescue and restore. I take what's been torn and make it whole. I speak to dry bones and they come to life. I take what the enemy called ruined and I rebuild it into something even greater than before. You have not gone too far. You are not too damaged. Nothing is too hard for me. I want to restore your joy. I want to revive your passion. I want to return the laughter that was stolen. I want to lead you into wide open spaces where peace flows freely and fear no longer has a voice. And I will do it, not because of who you are, but because of who I am. So stay, don't retreat, don't numb your heart or silence your prayers. Keep your eyes open, your heart soft, and your hands raised, even if it's in trembling faith. What's coming is greater than what's been lost. I will rescue you from the enemy's grasp and plant you in a place of unshakable hope. You will rise from this. You will not just survive, you will thrive. You will not just be delivered, you will be renewed. And when others see your story, they will know it was not luck, not coincidence, not chance, but the hand of the living God who stepped into the fire and brought you out. I will rescue you, I always do. And this time will be no different. Listen closely. Open your spirit and let every distraction fade into the background for just a moment. There is something vital I need you to understand, something the enemy has worked hard to keep you from seeing. If you are not aware of it, he gains ground without resistance. If you remain blind to it, he can continue weaving lies that sound like truth. So hear me now, recognize the enemy's tactics. Know them, expose them, do not fear them, but do not ignore them either, because they are not always loud. They are not always obvious. In fact, the most dangerous attacks are rarely announced with thunder or fire. They are quiet. They slip in through distraction, through distortion, through small compromises that slowly detach your heart from what is holy. This is how the enemy moves, not just to destroy outright, but to erode slowly. He doesn't always come in with chains. Sometimes he comes in with comfort. He doesn't always shout through chaos. Sometimes he whispers through convenience. He knows how to twist truth just enough to make it palatable, familiar, and appealing to the flesh. He uses busyness to dull your spirit, entertainment to numb your hunger for me, and even religion to distract from true relationship. He plants thoughts that seem innocent. You're doing enough. This doesn't really matter. You deserve a break from faith. Everyone else is doing it. Little seeds of detachment, little nudges away from your purpose, small shifts from truth that over time leave you standing far from where you once stood, wondering how you drifted so far. He aims for your identity first. If he can confuse who you are, he can distort what you're called to do. He will try to convince you that your worth is measured by achievements, by approval, by appearance. He'll disguise comparison as inspiration. He'll make insecurity feel like humility. He'll make compromise feel like compassion. But none of it comes from me. I speak clarity, not confusion. I speak peace, not pressure. I speak identity rooted in me, not performance, not popularity, not perfection. When you know who you are in me, the enemy's tactics begin to unravel. When you stand on truth, lies lose their grip. But it takes discernment, an alertness in the spirit. You cannot recognize deception if your heart is distracted. This world is loud. It offers constant noise, constant opinions, constant updates. But I still speak in the quiet. I still move in the stillness. That is where your discernment is sharpened, in time with me. If you neglect that, the enemy knows he has room to influence. That's why he distracts. He doesn't need to turn you into a rebel. He only needs to keep you too busy, too tired, too emotionally drained to seek me. And over time, truth begins to feel optional. Conviction becomes inconvenient. And compromise, it starts to feel like love. But my truth is not fragile. It does not bend with culture. It does not shift with the wind. And I'm calling you back to it, not to shame you, but to anchor you. Because the storm is rising, the hour is urgent. And those who cannot recognize the enemy's tactics will be swept up in things that sound good, look good, feel good, but have no roots in me. There is a difference between light and darkness, between truth and deception, between holiness and hype. And if you don't sharpen your spiritual senses, you will fall for the subtle, clever traps designed to pull your heart away from what matters most. He'll tell you that truth is relative, that boundaries are judgmental, that conviction is legalism, that purity is outdated, that obedience is unnecessary. These are not just cultural trends, they are spiritual strategies. And I'm telling you this not to scare you, but to equip you. You were never meant to live unaware. You were never meant to be tossed around by every wind of influence. You were meant to stand, rooted, steady, awake, watchful, knowing that your fight is not against flesh and blood, but against unseen powers that scheme in the dark to keep you from light. So pause, evaluate, where have subtle lies crept into your thinking? Where have you settled for comfort instead of calling? Where have you chosen what feels good over what is good? These aren't questions of condemnation, they are invitations. I'm inviting you back to clarity. I'm inviting you to sharpen your senses, to test what you hear, what you consume, what you follow. Does it bear my spirit? Does it line up with my word? Does it draw you closer to me or simply feed your ego? I want your eyes open. I want your heart guarded. Not because you live in fear, but because you live in wisdom. Wisdom is your weapon. Discernment is your defense. You must learn to pause when the world pushes. You must learn to go deeper when others stay shallow. You must learn to silence the noise so you can hear my voice. Because when you know my voice, you will spot a counterfeit instantly. And the enemy can't confuse those who are rooted in truth. He can't derail those who walk by the Spirit. He can't manipulate those who are grounded in me. He fears those who recognize him. He fears those who respond not with panic, but with prayer. Not with emotion, but with truth. He fears those who rise early to seek me, who close the door and sit with me, who open my word and let it cut through the noise. You are becoming that person. I am sharpening your eyes. I am fine-tuning your ears. I am fortifying your heart. The more time you spend with me, the more aware you will become, not just of what is good, but of what is God. And that's the difference. You don't need to chase every opportunity, every voice, every trend. You only need to follow me. I will lead you. I will guide you. And I will expose the tactics that try to deceive you. No weapon formed against you will prosper, but you must remain alert. There is a war for your attention. There is a war for your mind, but you are not powerless. You are not alone. I am with you, and I've already overcome. You have the Spirit of truth dwelling in you. You have access to wisdom, to discernment, to revelation, but you must guard it. You must steward it. Stay close. Keep your heart tender. Keep your eyes fixed on what is eternal. And when subtle voices rise to twist the truth, you will stand firm, unshaken, confident, not because you are strong, but because you are anchored in me. The enemy is subtle, but I am sovereign. The enemy is loud, but I am truth. And I will teach you how to walk in the light, recognize deception, and live in such a way that no scheme, no whisper, no influence will be able to pull you away from the narrow path. Let me sharpen you, let me lead you. Let me open your eyes to what is real, what is right, and what is righteous. The enemy doesn't get the final word, I do. And I say you are awake, you are aware, you are equipped, and you will not fall for his tactics any longer. Listen as I continue to speak into the silence of your heart, a heart that has known both the brightness of hope and the shadow of deception. In the midst of life's relentless buzz and the ever-shifting currents of culture, I call you to recognize with heightened clarity the subtle tactics of the enemy. Understand in the deepest recesses of your being that the adversary has not only fashioned grand schemes, but has also perfected the art of subtle influence. These tactics are so intricately designed to pull you away from the core values and unchanging truth I offer that they often camouflage themselves as harmless invitations, friendly nudges, or even well-meaning advice. Do not be deceived by the allure of what appears convenient or comfortable. For every moment you yield to these distractions, a piece of your divine destiny is left waiting in a realm unseen, the destiny that I have meticulously prepared for you. I have witnessed the ways in which the enemy operates with quiet cunning. In your moments of solitude and even amidst the clamor of the crowd, he whispers ideas that seem benign, a passing thought that tells you to settle, to compromise, to disregard the call of the everlasting. He uses the language of normalcy to introduce compromise. He cloaks subtle distortion in the guise of practicality. He may begin by inviting you to indulge in distractions, an extra hour of aimless scrolling, the trivial pursuit that promises momentary pleasure, but steals the time meant for purpose, prayer, and reflection. These are not random acts of mischief. They are calculated maneuvers to dull your inner alertness, to divert your focus away from the truth that anchors you. Do not let these intrusions become habitual visitors to your mind. Instead, cultivate a sanctuary of stillness where my voice resounds loud and clear, dispelling every murmur of confusion. Every day, the enemy tempts you with the subtle notion that your worth is measured by fleeting accolades, by the number of likes, by the transient approval of the world. Yet I have already inscribed your true value deep within your soul. Your value is not determined by external comparisons, nor by the relentless pursuit of human validation. It is etched in eternity and sealed by my unconditional love. I desire that you discern between what is momentarily enticing and what is eternally fulfilling. The tactics of the enemy are not meant to bring you joy. They are meant to lead you astray into a labyrinth of discontent. When you allow your identity to be defined by the shifting sands of cultural trends or superficial standards, you open yourself to a cascade of compromises that erode the foundation I have laid in you. Instead, anchor yourself in the truth that your identity is forged in my image, refined by every trial, and destined for divine purpose. Consider the small, almost imperceptible moments throughout your day, the hurried glances at your phone, the quick judgments made before you've taken a breath. In these moments, the enemy's tactics are at their most insidious. He employs the art of subtlety to insinuate doubt, to encourage procrastination, and to foster a spirit of comparison that undermines self-worth. Every comparison is a trap. Every subtle critique is a seed of distraction that grows into a towering barrier between you and the fullness of the life I offer. Recognize that when you compromise even a single principle, or let a moment's weakness dictate your choices, you are opening the door wider to the lies I have come to expose. Look past the veneer of everyday talk that seems so mundane, for even in seemingly innocent conversations or in the content you consume, the enemy may be planting seeds of division, of apathy, of resignation. It is time to become vigilant, to understand that discernment is the armor that protects your soul from being infiltrated by thoughts not aligned with the truth. Reflect on the days when the enemy's presence felt almost invisible, the idle chatter that saps your focus, the busyness that masks neglect of what truly matters. In those times, the subtle influences can silently erode your capacity to question, to examine, to stand guard over your convictions. I urge you to lean into moments of silence, to let the noise fall away so that you can hear the whisper of eternal promises. In the quiet, you can discern my instructions, clear, unwavering, and pure. The enemy may try to distort your perception, weaving cynicism into your admiration for life's beauty, yet I have imbued you with the strength to rise above that distortion. Do not let the minutiae of day-to-day distractions blind you from my presence. Instead, let each day be a meditation on the eternal, a journey towards the ever-present light that I offer, even amid life's darkest alleys. You may ask yourself, how can I recognize what is deceptive when it is so often packaged in familiar language, when these very tactics mimic compassion, understanding, and even love? The answer is found in the sanctuary of truth that exists within you, the truth I planted long before the enemy's schemes took shape. It is through intimate communion with my word that you will learn the art of discernment, the skill of distinguishing between what is transient and what endures. My truth is your compass. Let it guide you through the labyrinth of everyday temptations. Study it, meditate upon it, and allow it to recalibrate your inner vision so that you can see clearly amidst the fog of modern distractions. Only then will the enemy's intricate designs unravel before you, as you become more attuned to his every subtle maneuver. In the midst of this spiritual warfare, you must not be discouraged by the enemy's persistence. For every tactic he employs, I have already provided the antidote: truth, wisdom, and an unfailing love that transcends every lie. I have equipped you with a spirit of resilience, a capacity for introspection, and a heart that can discern the true from the counterfeit. There will be days when you feel overwhelmed, when the barrage of conflicting voices leaves you disoriented. But know this: my promise endures. I stand as your ever-present advocate, shield, and guide. As you reclaim your focus and return to the foundation of my eternal words, remember that you are not waging this battle alone. You are surrounded by an army of faithful souls, an interwoven tapestry of hearts and minds united in the pursuit of truth. Imagine a fortress built on rock, impervious to the relentless assaults of a raging storm. That is the life I envision for you, a life built on the strength of discernment and steadfast in faith. It is a life where every tactic of deception is met with unwavering conviction, every moment of distraction countered by deliberate mindfulness. I call upon you to cultivate habits that fortify your spirit. Begin each day with a prayer for clarity. Set aside time for quiet reflection and immerse yourself in the still waters of Scripture. In doing so, you will be better equipped to recognize the enemy's subtle moves before they can take root in your mind. These disciplines are not burdens, they are the keys to liberation, a pathway to a life of radiant truth and unshakable joy. The enemy will continue to adapt his methods, molding his lies to suit the contours of your everyday experiences. He will dress his deceptions in the garb of normalcy, making them appear as if they belong in the realm of everyday choices. But you must learn to question the origin of every thought that seeks to sway your purpose. Is this idea born of genuine wisdom, or a counterfeit promise meant to lead me astray? With every internal dialogue, ask yourself if the source of the influence resonates with the eternal truths I have instilled in you, or if it panders to the fleeting trends of this temporal world. There is a profound and unyielding power in becoming a seeker of truth, a power that dispels every shadow and unmasks every lie. When you fully realize that the battle for your heart is waged not with visible weapons, but with subtle seductions, you begin to reclaim the narrative of your life. Stand firm in the knowledge that every false whisper, every manipulation, and every attempt to detract you from your calling has already been countered by my unending devotion to you. I challenge you to look around and identify the everyday moments where subtle influences have tried to sway your convictions. Perhaps it is the relentless pursuit of status that compels you to measure success by worldly standards, or the quiet acceptance of mediocrity that convinces you that compromise is synonymous with peace. Recognize these tactics for what they are, the enemy's attempts to divert you from a life of passionate purpose and spiritual abundance. As you continue this journey of discernment, know that your growth is measured not by the absence of errors, but by the courage to confront and overcome them. There will be moments when you stray from the path, entangled in the allure of temporary pleasures and deceptive comforts. But each misstep is also an opportunity, a moment to learn, to recalibrate, and to reaffirm your commitment to truth. I will be there in every struggle, ready to extend grace and guide you back to the light. The enemy's tactics are not insurmountable. They are challenges meant to be met with the full force of divine resolve. In every battle, every moment of vulnerability, I am the beacon that leads you safely to the shore of renewed hope. It is essential, then, to view your life as a continual exercise in spiritual warfare, a battlefield where every thought, every decision, and every action matters. Embrace the responsibility to guard your mind and to filter every influence through the lens of my eternal truth. Cultivate an inner community of like-minded believers who share in the discipline of discernment. Together, support one another in the relentless pursuit of a life that is aligned with heavenly principles. When you stand shoulder to shoulder with others who have committed their lives to seeking truth, the enemy's subtle tactics lose their potency. In unity, you form a wall of resistance that not even the most insidious whisper can breach. Every day is an invitation to refine your spiritual senses. Engage in intentional practices, journaling your thoughts, reflecting upon moments of doubt, and celebrating even the smallest victories over distraction. As you do, you will find that the clarity of truth becomes your constant companion. You will begin to see through every guise of deception, no matter how cleverly wrapped in the trappings of modern life. I have designed this journey to be progressive. With every step of awareness, you become better equipped to distinguish genuine wisdom from the false comforts offered by the enemy. And as you persist, your testimony, your personal story of overcoming, will shine as a beacon to others who are grappling with similar battles. Your transformation is not just a victory for you, it is a triumph for all who witness the radiant power of living anchored in my truth. Now consider the nature of the enemy's greatest deception, his ability to twist pain and disappointment into opportunities for doubt. When setbacks occur, he whispers that these moments define you, that every hardship is a sign of divine neglect. But I urge you to see beyond the veil of despair, to understand that even in adversity there is purpose. Every trial is an opportunity to strengthen your resolve, to deepen your faith, and to refine your character. Just as gold is purified in the fire, so too is your spirit refined in the crucible of life's challenges. Trust that every hardship is a stepping stone, each sorrow a lesson, and every moment of despair a precursor to a profound demonstration of grace. The enemy may try to claim that your pain is insurmountable, but I affirm that your story is one of redemption, the narrative where every twist and turn leads to a greater revelation of my love. In this ongoing battle, do not seek to isolate yourself from the world. Rather, engage with it wisely. Allow the light of truth to permeate every interaction, be it in your personal relationships, your work, or your community. When you approach the world with a discerning heart, you become a living testimony to the transformative power of divine insight. Speak boldly of the truths you have discovered, knowing that your words carry the power to enlighten,